Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hi, this is Rico. I'm extremely happy that Stefanski and Barry got their extensions. This signifies that the organization is finally in good hands. But let's be honest, the bar was set extremely low for both of them to clear it. 37-30 record is, slightly above average. 2 playoff appearances with 1 win isn't all that great, but for this franchise, it is pretty good. But now comes the next step in their evolution, which is to be a consistent winner and a consistent playoff threat. The Browns have to win the division and have success in the playoffs. I mean, once again, I am absolutely thrilled that they both will be here for the long haul. But it's time to elevate that bar. Thanks. Go Browns.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. Let's welcome in Casey Kimman from Dog Pound Daily as well as the Barking Browns podcast. Casey, it's a fair assessment. So remember, you went from 1-31. So from 1-31 to 37-30, that's pretty impressive. But it's hard to be a consistent playoff team. And to Rico's point, you got to win the division because that gets you a home playoff game, and that likely gets you deeper into the playoffs.
Yeah, he's right. The bar was lower, but if you compare those guys to what preceded them, I think the closest was Crennel with 64 games. Stefanski's coached 70 and already won 14 more games than Crennel. I think if you want to judge them like other Browns coaches and regimes. I think you look back further. I think you're looking at Belichick, who coached 82 games, and they've already got one more win than Belichick did during his regime. Or someone like Marty with 77 games he coached, he's got 8 more wins than what this regime has. So I think that's properly slotted, but also the expectations should be where they were when Marty Schottenheimer was here. Deep runs in the playoffs, consistent winning, division titles. That is what I expect for this regime going forward.
Yeah, I'm one of the few guys that was around and covering the Browns when Marty they fired him after a playoff loss. Just Marty Schottenheimer, the franchise was so used to being in the playoffs, they didn't win a home, I believe it was a home playoff game against the Houston Oilers, I think was his last game. They fired him after the game, and I was like, think about that. Fired a coach after a playoff season. But the question, it's hard to consistently make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult. You look around the league, there's only a handful of teams that consistently do it year in and year out, regardless of circumstance. But that's the goal. That's the expectation, is for you to become one of those teams. The ownership saw what they needed to see out of this regime, and this is the duo that they want leading this organization going forward.